Welcome to a nourishing midweek lunch hour conversation with Spokane's newsmakers, thought leaders, and popular entertainers. Spokane Talks Live is brought to you by our friends at Homes for You and Breakthrough Incorporated. Welcome to Spokane Talks Live.
Welcome to Spokane Talks Live. Kent Adams here. We're on the 6th day of March. Hard to believe that, really is. Our first Tuesday live program. We've been doing now for about 2 years the Wednesday program, and we're now moving to Tuesday and Wednesday, Spokane Talks Live, and I'll host that. And I've got a couple of surprise guests and hosts that will come in from time to time to replace me and probably do a better job. And then on Thursdays at noon, we have She Says with Stephanie Regalado. And I don't even know who her guest is going to be this week. She doesn't usually tell me till the day before, sometimes that morning. But that was our most popular program that we've launched here on STO in the last couple of years. And so a whole new group of people, many of them women, can you guess that? Have come to start watching our programs. We've got a good lineup today. We're starting, one of the things that I'm going to be doing on my Tuesday and Wednesday program is to have some folks come in who I call STO contributors, people in the community that are in the know, that know what's going on, and so forth. And my first guest is the executive director of Better Spokane and an STO contributor now, Michael Cathcart. So he'll be up first, and we'll talk about several things going on in our area. Susan Nielsen, who is the executive director of the College Success Foundation, will be following Michael. And then after that, it's all that jazz with the Spokane Jazz Orchestra. Next on Spokane Talks Live.
For the Inland Northwest's most comprehensive sports report, think outside the porch with spokesman.com. For just 99 cents for the first month, you'll enjoy unlimited digital access to the news and sports news that affect you most. From EWU to WSU, from Northwest Preps all the way to the Seahawks, we're the local authority that makes sports in the Inland Northwest different than the rest, better than the rest. On your phone, on your desktop, and on your tablet. Subscribe to the digital experience with spokesman.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
Welcome back, Kent Adams, with Michael Cathcart from Better Spokane. How are you?
Hey, doing well.
Yeah, lots going on.
Yeah. So am I the first guest on your Tuesday program?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, downhill from here, right? No.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
How
no.
about that?
And good to have you. This is something I've been wanting to do, is to have you and a couple other folks come on a regular basis, at least once a month, maybe a couple times a month, because in your case, you follow what's going on for a Better Spokane, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a plain a given. And I don't follow it like I used to, okay, all the time. So what's going on in Spokane? Let's talk about maybe a couple things. And one is, I see a couple folks on the city council who are wanting to do a public funded internet system.
Yeah.
Like we don't have enough already.
Municipal broadband. Yeah. That's what they want to do.
More taxpayer money.
Essentially, yeah. You know, I think a lot of folks point to Chattanooga, Tennessee as being this grand success story for municipal broadband.
Right.
And it's true. They've got fast internet and at a somewhat reasonable price. But I think what most folks don't understand is that they paid well over $300 million to actually get it going and build that system.
Yeah, because there's a lot of genning up in terms of figuring out how it works.
Exactly right. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's very expensive to get up and running, to operate, to manage.
You know what I'm going to do? Are you hearing a mic problem in there? You're not? Okay, I am out here. I just want to be sure that your mic is working. Okay, so if it doesn't, we're going to switch out mics, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, on the municipal broadband, I think it's just a very expensive upfront cost. And then besides that, you know, it goes back to this question of, is it something the city of Spokane or any municipal government should be doing?
Well, it should be doing and needs to do if it's already being done.
That's right. We've got providers, whether it's Comcast or the DSL service that we have in Spokane.
And we've got what is it, the Air one too? That's downtown in the old ONB building that shoots out.
Sure.
So there are several choices.
There are alternatives out there, and I think for the city to get into that business and compete with the private sector just doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. But what the city could do, and I've actually asked to participate on this working group because I think there's some good, maybe more pro-business ideas that could be interjected into this, is to try and figure out ways to increase competition amongst the private sector.
Okay, yeah.
How can the city get out of the way, or how can the city encourage competition?
Right.
That's certainly a valid thing and something we should be talking about.
Right.
But for the city to actually get involved itself doesn't make a lot of
Where
sense.
is it coming from?
What's that?
I mean, who's behind this?
Well, the ordinance itself was sponsored by Brian Beggs,
Okay.
Councilman Beggs.
Okay.
Where it originated beyond him, I'm not certain.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come that doesn't surprise me? Okay, it's always government is the best answer from him, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
I would just really quick. I want to interject. Oftentimes, or probably more often than not, I have a lot of complaints about the current city council and the makeup and the folks that are involved there. But I think there's one thing that was introduced here recently, or about to be introduced, that I think is really good.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to make sure we have a chance to mention that. And that is Councilwoman Kate Burke.
Yes,
has brought forward an ordinance, or is bringing forward an ordinance that would change some of the procedures so that if the council wants to amend an ordinance at the last minute, where the public has not had an opportunity to weigh in or even understand what's happening, the council has to wait a week before they can bring that to a
just
vote.
sounds to me like common sense.
Common sense.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah. And my guess is she's going, why is this coming to me at the last minute?
Yes.
And I understand there will be some tweaking and so forth, but unless it's a dire emergency, Spokane is under attack or something like that, a week makes sense. And I'm going to guess that this comes often after the council has talked and the public has had a chance for input, and then someone proposes something.
So her ordinance would take effect at the point of an ordinance has been introduced, and they're up to the point of perhaps voting on it, and somebody on the council on the dais says, I want to make a motion to amend this ordinance.
Okay.
So that's where her, if they in fact amend
after the public input, though, too.
It's always after the public input.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yes.
So the public doesn't really have,
exactly.
So many things can get put through at that point. And even if it's still going to get put through, at least there's a week to debate it. And I think a healthy debate and conversation is always good.
Absolutely. And oftentimes with some of these ordinances, they'll be amended 20 different ways in the days preceding the vote. The public has no clue what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. In fact, a lot of the folks who are in the know don't know what's going on. You'll walk into City Hall for a meeting to talk about an ordinance, and you'll find out you're 3 drafts behind. So that kind of thing really needs to be looked at.
And last night, today's Tuesday, last night, I had to stop and think again. Last night they passed 5-1 to restrict and all of that live police coverage because sometimes it might not look good.
And to me, it's a bit disturbing what they're doing, because I think if you walk down the street and talk to 10 people, 9 of them will tell you they're concerned about the crime rates in the city of Spokane. And it's something that has to be addressed. It's got to be looked at. And I think when you've got live PD that essentially is just showing real life,
which maybe some of us ought to see.
I don't really see the problem there. And Sheriff Knezovich has said it's a great recruitment tool for him. He gets a lot of kudos for the way his officers act on television. So there's a lot of good things about it. And this idea that the city should be in the business of censoring media just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And then you have to ask yourself, well, what's the next step? If they're so concerned about this, are they going to start really trying to restrict people with a cell phone? Or, I mean, where does it end?
Exactly.
And it's just very concerning to me that the city would even get in that business.
Well, I guess they're going to have to come fine us here if that's what happens, because we're not going to pay attention to it.
That's right.
Because the fact is, if we see something, we're going to shoot it.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you only have to be concerned about, what was it I saw in the paper? How many folks in the last 14 months, how many police officers have been shot just in the last couple weeks? And they live it daily. They know what the dangers are out there. The rest of us kind of suspect, but I think we need to see. And I think 99% of the time you're going to see our police officers and deputies do it right.
Absolutely.
You know, almost to a detriment in for their own safety. Okay, which worries me. Okay, but all right, we've got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about what's going on in the 6th legislative district.
Yeah.
Michael Baumgartner is going to run for treasurer.
Yeah. So a lot
Got to
of
stay home. He's got a growing family
Sure.
and stuff too,
Sure.
which makes sense.
Well, you know, a lot of moving pieces right now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks trying to decide if they want to run or what office they're going to perhaps run
Right.
for. That's right. You know, State Senator Baumgartner did decide that he's going to seek the county treasurer position.
Right.
Rob Chase had made a commitment in his last term that he would only seek one more term.
Right.
So he's stepping aside, and I think Rob is in the same position. He's trying to decide what his next steps are at this point as well.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's going to make for a very interesting election season
Ouija
this
board,
year.
kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch and kind of see how this all shakes out. So, Representative Jeff Holy, has
Right.
decided he's going to seek that state Senate seat.
Right.
Which I think
and
was
he's the
expected.
longest-serving rep
Absolutely.
in the 6th district, so that makes sense.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah, and he'll do a great job, I think, in that role. And so there's now this open 6th district House seat that I think there's probably a half dozen to 10 people looking at the possibility of seeking on all sides, the political spectrum.
Right.
I think the only person who's officially announced at this point is Dave Wilson.
Okay.
And for those that maybe don't
What's
remember,
it going to be this time?
yeah, exactly. He either ran for Congress twice as trying to fool people into believing he was an independent, or he's now running for a House seat trying to fool people into believing he's a Democrat. But I don't think he's quite made up his mind.
Well, come on, you gotta draw the line. You're one thing or another, and not
Exactly.
depending on how the wind is blowing on a given time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yes, you can change in life. I understand that, but changing for running for office is very transparent.
That's right.
You know, I
Yep.
mean, it really is. It really is. Nice guy, but come
Yeah.
on, give me a break.
And so, but my understanding is there is another Democrat who is going to
Okay.
run, who is very involved in the Bernie Sanders
okay,
campaign.
okay.
So looks like there will be a Democrat primary there, and
Okay.
perhaps more candidates as well.
Right.
The Republican side, I'm not aware of anybody who's firmly decided they're
Right.
seeking that seat yet.
Right.
But I know I've heard 3, 4, 5 names
Yeah.
mentioned at this point. So
Right.
somebody will likely announce probably in the next.
And
couple
filing
weeks.
is when? In May, I think?
Yeah,
March?
mid-May.
Mid-May. Okay.
So there's a
Okay,
lot of
so there's
time,
some time
to file. But of course, if you want to be a successful candidate, you need to
You
get
file and you need to start raising money,
started
because
now.
this is going to be a tough year to raise money with the Lisa
Yeah.
Brown and Kathy McMorris Rogers probably each talking $2-3 million each. That's going to suck a lot of dollars away, and then you start looking at not the city, but the treasurer, all the House state seats,
That's
and
right.
then a couple of Senate state seats. So
Well, and my
money goes real fast.
It does go fast, and my hope is the media doesn't decide that they're only going to cover that congressional race, because there are a lot of very important down ballot races
Yes.
that deserve coverage.
Always.
And we've already seen more coverage of that congressional race than I think we've seen of pretty much any congressional race going back.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how
Well, and the Democrats think they've got a fighting chance, and
Sure.
honestly,
Yeah.
they don't. But I think they probably have one of the better likable candidates in terms of from the D side of things. But I still predict it's going to be, might be a little closer than it's been before, but Kathy will win.
We'll see. I wouldn't take anything for granted.
No.
I think she's got to work hard to
Absolutely.
retain that seat.
Absolutely.
She does.
Yeah.
But I think down ballot they've got opportunities as well for some of these seats, and so it's just going to come down to who works harder.
And my
Really
worry
is.
is, and you talk about the coverage of the others, is that I've been told by one person at a major TV station in town, when I said that we were going to be doing a lot of the local stuff like we did with the Meet the Candidate series this last year and so forth. And the fact was, well, Kent, we're not even going to spend much time on the 5th congressional race.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, so you start looking in a half-hour newscast, 18 minutes of news. How much coverage is it going to get? There'll be a couple of debates that might be televised, but beyond that, it's not going to get, unless somebody stumbles, and of course they're always looking for something to go wrong, but it's not going to get the coverage. So we're kind of ramping up here to try to do as much as we can to cover that so people have a place to go.
Well, and you guys provide a really important service, because you're right. I mean, you have an opportunity to cover things that the Spokesman Review or the Inlander or others just don't.
Well, we can spend the time on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
The local news is going to,
Yeah.
you know, a long story is 2 minutes, minute and a half.
Yeah.
And we'll spend, even on the Meet the Candidates, they're 12 minutes long. And the debates we did were 20, 25 minutes long. And I think that's our niche.
That's
and
right.
So we'll continue doing that this
Well, and
year.
I know I appreciated being able to come on, I think,
Yeah.
3, maybe 4 times,
Right.
talking about local issues and
Right.
ballot measures and things we were involved with.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
very
well, thank
important.
you. Thanks for being guest number 1 as our STO contributor, and you'll be back later this month. I don't remember which date, but
I think in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I look forward to it.
We'll rest up between now and then. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Susan Nielsen right after this.
Welcome to Tom Sawyer Country Coffee.
Tom Sawyer Country Coffee only roasts the finest organic coffee for our signature blends. Enjoy a cup at our coffee shop and local businesses and organizations across the region.
I'm Tom Sawyer, and we choose the Pacific Northwest.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org. Welcome back to Spokane Talks Live. I was going to say an old friend, but I don't mean it that way. I mean it in terms of number of years that I've known you.
Yes.
Not in age.
Decades.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
decades.
actually been decades.
It has, hasn't it? Because
Yeah.
where did it start? Water power?
I think Creme,
Creme.
way back.
Oh, it does go back.
Yeah, early
Oh my
80s.
gosh, are they still on the air? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's tough to be number 3 in the news. Oh, my friends up there will give me a
You
bed.
said that, not me.
No, I know. I can say things, and no one can fire me. When you own half the company, you know, and my business partner is in Las Vegas. Now, in the last 3 weeks, he spent 2 weeks in Hawaii, and now he's down watching some team. GU team? Is there a basketball team going?
There you go. Go Zags.
Hey, you've worn lots of hats over the years.
Yeah.
You've had and maybe still have your own company. You worked at Girl Scouts. I knew you there, and a number of things. And now you're doing this College Success Foundation.
Yeah.
What is all that about?
Well, I've been there about 3.5 years at
Has
the
it been
College
that long?
Success
Okay.
Foundation. The
Yeah.
organization itself has been around for 17 years.
Okay.
And is
So back when you were born.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. At least when my kids were born.
Let's not go there.
And the organization is really founded on the desire to help low-income, underserved students of color, first-generation college students, and foster youth get through high school, into college, with scholarships, through college,
Oh, nice.
and succeeding in life. So that's really what we do, and we are in 9 school districts around the state.
Ooh,
So
okay.
my region includes Eastern Washington, which is the Spokane Public Schools and
Okay.
Yakima School District.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you do a little traveling.
I do.
Who covers
yes.
Tri-Cities? And
Well, of the 9, most of those are on the west side of the state.
okay.
So in Eastern Washington, it's Spokane and Yakima.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good. And the bottom line is that if these young folks are going to have some success, they need to go beyond K through 12.
Well, they need to start thinking about college early in
Yes.
middle school, which is what our program
Good.
supports.
And that
so,
that it's a can-do thing. I can do
Exactly.
that. I mean,
Right.
that's really what it comes down to, isn't it?
right, they know that college is a possibility.
Yeah.
And so we work with them starting in middle school.
Okay.
And all the way through high school. We have a college services program and then an alumni services. So really, they are CSF for life once they're in our program. If they choose,
they're stuck with you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Now, what do you do at the junior high level?
So in middle school, we talk with students about seeing college as a possibility, and talk about career exploration, and let them know that the College Success Foundation and other organizations are there to help them plan their high school from the beginning, so that they get off on the right foot, they take the classes
don't get to that
they
senior
need.
year and panic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then our program really builds intensity in the junior and senior year of high school. We admit 50 students per high school in their junior year as achievers, scholars, and then it's an immersion in an intensive college preparatory process. So we have 250 students in the Spokane Public Schools. And we have 100 students in Yakima at the 2 high schools there that are in my region.
How do you keep track of all them? How do you mentor them? Because it really comes down to that, doesn't it?
Well, our college preparatory advisors are at the high school level, and it's through the partnership with Spokane Public Schools that we are able to be in the schools all day, year-round, as part of the team. So we have our college prep advisors at each of the 5 comprehensive high schools in Spokane, which are Ferris, Lewis and Clark, North Central, Shadle, and Rogers. And so they have 50 students that come in as juniors, and then they have the 50 seniors. So they have 100 students that they're working with, 100% focused on college access, college success, college scholarships, college graduation, and then to go on and succeed in life, which is what our mission is.
I know a couple of, including my grandson, who's a senior at Ferris, and another Colin, who's our Youth Spotlight host, who's graduating from high school, and I keep hearing, I'm filling out forms and all of the things that they go through. And as an old guy and grandfather, I've forgotten about all that, my youngest is 37, so it's been a few years.
It's a really complex process for any student, even if you're not the first in your family to go to college. But in Spokane, 65% of our students are the first in their family to go to college. And so we have a lot of families that, when you look at filling out the FAFSA and you look at personal statements and you look at college applications.
I've never been through that.
The role of our college prep advisors is to really work with the student and their families to make sure to demystify that process, to help them seek the college that is the best fit for them. And we do this through a variety of ways. We have a contract with the state to deliver the program, and then we have investors. So it's a public-private partnership along with the school district. And so some of our investors locally have really are very, very focused on education. And we have a 21-member regional board in which I convene quarterly. And they are education thought leaders, representatives from all of our local colleges and universities, the public school system, so Spokane Public Schools, and then executives from organizations that really value education, such as Schweitzer Engineering Labs and Itron and Washington Trust Bank.
They get it.
And yes, and U.S.
It's the future
Bank.
Workforce.
Exactly.
Future leaders.
And what we do that helps students really see college and the right fit is we work with them on going with us on college campus visits so that they choose the college that's the best fit. We know that through the data that we have through our comprehensive research and evaluation team at College Success Foundation, that if you have the right fit, you're much more likely to persist to graduation. If you have support at the college level, which we provide with our college services, you're much more likely to persist to graduation. So 62% of our students graduate from college, which is higher than most high-income groups.
I was going to say, that's probably better than the average, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. How many male versus female?
We have a pretty even split in Spokane, and in Yakima it's slightly higher for the female students than the male students. But we really are focused on making sure that the students that are in the program are serious about going to college. And last year, for instance, of the 250 students that graduated, They went to 20 different colleges and universities with more than $2.3 million in scholarships that our team helped them secure.
Neat. And that's really the name of the game today, is to find a way to fund college.
Exactly, so that they graduate without debt or with very little debt.
Right.
I mean, that's every parent's goal. And of course, when you're working with an underserved population, that's an even more important component.
How can folks learn more about this and possibly even step up and mentor, help you and your board and, write a check or two?
That would be fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Because it all takes money.
It absolutely does. So our website is collegesuccessfoundation.org.
Okay.
And I would be happy to visit with anyone who's interested in learning more about the College Success Foundation here in Spokane or Yakima or statewide. We also have a piece of our organization in Washington, D.C., working in 2 wards there. So we are really a national organization, but focused on the 2 Washingtons currently.
Okay, I'm going to make you promise something. I want you to come back in another month or 2.
Absolutely.
And I want you to bring a student.
I will do my best. They're in school at this time of day.
Okay, we'll make a concession. We'll do it after school. And
we might be able to bring one of our local students who's in one of our colleges locally that can talk about both. I'd
love to hear
elements
some
of
experience.
That would be
them.
Probably an easier opportunity.
Well, you work on it, okay?
Absolutely.
And you know how to reach me.
I do, Ken.
I say that because I get emails after emails. Thank you very much. This is great because that post-secondary education is so important, and there's emphasis today on the trades and so forth as well. The fact is that future success depends on college and trade school and getting something behind you.
I just wanted to mention one more thing.
Yes.
We have what we call our College Signing Day celebration at the end of the school year. So this year it's May 15th. And it is really our opportunity to bring all 250 of these students together with all of the people who have supported them and celebrate. They sign a huge banner. We give them college-ready packs that BECU provides.
Yes.
Kohl's Company is our signature sponsor. And we provide scholarships that are funded now through Avista and through Kohl's Company to the students that evening that attend our event. So it's really a celebration, recognition, and opportunity to really help these students and their families realize what a major step this is for everyone.
And when you know you've got backing from an organization and people and local businesses through your organization, you're going to be much more likely to be successful in college.
Absolutely.
It really does make a difference.
It really truly does.
It really does. Well, thank you for what you're doing. Good to see you.
Thanks,
okay.
Ken. Yes.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with all that jazz right after this.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
To find the right home for you, you'll work with your realtor to compare the properties you're interested in, analyze the market, and figure out a reasonable offer price. And now, here you are, ready to make an offer. Yay, you! Here's how it works. First, you'll complete an offer sheet which your realtor will then present to the owner. Sometimes, a nice note to the owner can help your offer stand out. Butter them up. Tell them how much you love their garden, that it reminds you of gardening with your grandmother as a child. Do not mention you're going to bulldoze it and put in a pool. The owner may accept the offer, reject it, or counter. It's important to be in close contact with your realtor during the negotiation process so any changes can be reviewed. Your realtor is like your consigliere. And that makes you the Don. Once your offer is finally accepted, there are usually some contingencies that must be met in order to keep the contract alive. Inspections are totally common in real estate transactions. They include termite checks, surveys to determine boundaries, appraisals to determine value for lenders, title reviews, and structural inspections. This stuff is mind-numbingly fascinating. But you know what's even more fascinating? Actually getting your new house.
Welcome back to Spokane Talks Live. Kent Adams here, and I teased this segment about all that jazz. It's about the Spokane Jazz Orchestra, and here we go again. And I'm going to ask Don a couple questions first because he's got this prior commitment to teach his students. I just can't imagine why you let that get in the way of being on with me. Don, I'm just really disappointed.
I know.
And your role with the Jazz Orchestra is?
I'm the musical director.
Okay, so you have a little to do with what's going to happen here pretty soon, don't you?
Bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me about what's coming up, because you guys have had a really good year so far, haven't you?
We have. We've had a great time, and this upcoming concert is Saturday, March 17th.
My gosh, it's coming fast.
I know, it's
Isn't
too fast,
that the Ides of March? Isn't that St. Patty's Day?
St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Indeed, yep. And we're doing a Northwest Composers Showcase.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to feature our guest artist, Nicole Lewis,
okay,
who spent some time. She went to Gonzaga. And
she's been in Hawaii.
Actually, she's been in Nashville.
Nashville,
for a
okay,
while, yeah.
okay.
Yep, so she's
Hard to
living
keep
down there
track
now. But anyhow, she's our guest artist.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're featuring her music as a Northwest composer, but also the music of some of the members of the group, and also some other members that are not, or people that are not in the group.
Yeah, yeah. So now, how many remind me, and our viewing audience, how many concerts are you doing this year? This is your, what, third one?
Well, our official season is 4 concerts.
Right, okay.
But then we'll also do summer concerts,
okay,
like at Riverfront Park and other places as well.
Okay, so this is number what?
This is number 3 in the official
I thought
season.
you had one more this spring.
Yep.
Yeah. And when is that going to be?
That's actually Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
yeah.
you've timed this great, haven't you?
We're doing the Hollywood tour, or the holiday tour.
Holiday tour? That's fun. Yeah. That's fun. Did you know that when you were setting it up?
Sort of. I mean, we only did those 2 holidays. But
yeah.
Yeah, it just ended up.
So you missed Christmas Day?
And, yeah, we did miss
Yeah, Thanksgiving?
Couldn't do that one.
Oh, come on, guys. Get it together. Yeah, get it together. Well, this is fun. How can people get tickets?
They can go to ticketswest.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they can go right down to the Tickets West office.
Okay. Now, where are you going to perform?
We're performing at the Bing Crosby
That's
Theater.
what I thought. Yeah, yeah. Is that a good venue to perform in?
It's fantastic.
I haven't been there for a couple of years, but
Yep. It's a wonderful venue. You know, it has the historic element to it, but it sounds great. You know.
Yeah, great. Well, we're going to let you sneak off and go teach your class. What class is it?
It's a wind ensemble rehearsal.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm the director of bands out at Eastern.
Okay.
We have a rehearsal and a concert on Thursday night.
So you got to head out to Eastern.
Yep.
But no wonder you got to
wave a stick around and.
Yeah. Okay. So can we get the police escort out here to
That'd
get you
be
out
great.
there in time? Wouldn't that
That'd
be
be
great?
great.
Yeah. Where are they when you need them? Right? They're usually behind you. I know. Don, thank you for coming in. And
thank you.
Sorry we pushed you up against the end of all of this.
Oh, I'm just happy to be here.
But great. I'm hearing good things about the orchestra and all that's going on. So we'll let you sneak out and Mike, what's your role? You're on the board, right?
Correct. I'm on the board of directors, and I've served in that role for 20 years.
Have you really?
I have.
Okay. So what's different now with the board than 20 years ago?
We have made a very concerted effort to reach out into the business community and get some business leaders on our board. We have a board of 14.
Okay.
And they're business leaders that we had connections with and are outstanding members of the community. And
that really makes a difference to have those folks, doesn't it? I mean, you really need to have that representation from the heart of the community.
It makes a big difference in who comes to our concerts,
Yes.
Who supports us but through our membership, and who supports us through our sponsorship. I
Right.
mean, we have some amazing sponsors that make our concerts happen.
Well, let's talk about the concert coming up. Who's the sponsor for that?
The sponsor for this concert is the Downtown Rotary Club number 21.
Ah, okay. They meet across the street on Thursdays.
They meet Thursdays.
And I know that because it's terrible for any of my guests to park on Thursday over here. We schedule things not at 1, but at 1:15 or 1:20 so that all of you guys have left so we can find parking spots out here. But a great club. That's fun. Now, why did the Rotary Club step up to do that?
Well, the Rotary 21 sponsors so many important programs in our community and worldwide, and our club of almost 300 members does a lot with the Polio Plus program, with adoption, with Partners for Work, and other important programs. But we also recognize the need to support programs in the arts.
Right.
And what Rotary 21 is specifically supporting here is our student outreach program and our senior outreach program, where we provide tickets at no cost to kids and music programs that couldn't otherwise come to a concert.
And we got to do more in terms of the arts for our young people. And I'm starting to see that in Spokane now. Are you?
Absolutely. Yep. And the number of kids and seniors that make it to our concerts through our program is really amazing when you come to see a concert.
Now, you know that the National Rotary Club has a foundation, right?
Correct.
Okay. The chairman of the board of that foundation is my old boss, Paul Netzel. You might have heard of his name.
I have.
He's off somewhere, and I see on Facebook he's around the world somewhere. He's aged a lot, but again, he's 5 years older than me. But I worked for him back when I was in high school, even, and then college, and then in the Northwest. And he really sold a good part of his business and made the last 8 or 10 years the Rotary Foundation his objective to really move things forward. So I know he's been traveling the world, and so I hear good things. For those folks that are watching that don't know why it's called Rotary 21, you and I know, but why is it called Rotary 21?
There's 35,000 Rotary clubs in the world.
Yeah.
Spokane Rotary 21 is the 21st.
Yeah.
Founded in 1911 right here in Spokane.
I remember. I was there.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew. I seen pictures. So, and we've gotten support from Rotary 21 for a number of years, but we also have long-standing support from Avista, Numerica, D.A. Davidson, Stamper Rubens.
Good.
And that support, along with our membership, is key to our success.
It really takes that stepping up to do that, because the ticket sales themselves don't cover all the costs, because this is a professional orchestra.
And that's one of the keys that
we
makes this
often forget
a gem of our community.
Yeah.
I mean, the history of the orchestra is remarkable. It's an orchestra that started in the early 1960s as the Spokane Jazz Clinic. And, the World's Fair came around about the mid-'70s, and so the musicians were employed as with groups entertaining people from all over the world. And then the World's Fair wrapped up, and they needed something to do. And so they formed formally the not-for-profit corporation, the Spokane Jazz Orchestra, which has been in existence in its current form since 1975, which makes it the longest professional, community-supported jazz orchestra in the Northern Hemisphere.
Wow. Well, great stuff. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you.
And let's give a plug to your company, too.
I'm an attorney with Stamper Rubens PS.
Okay. All right. We always got to give them a little credit, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, always. And that's a good example of key companies in our town who have always stepped up to loan people, to encourage their staff to step out and to help our organizations. And we really wouldn't have the cultural activities and artists and so forth if we didn't have folks like you and companies like yours to step up and help make that happen. So thank you for doing that. Hey, well, thanks for watching today. Tomorrow we have Kate Hudson from Visit Spokane. We're going to have Linda Weaver from Jake's Doghouse. Kent's going to be in the doghouse again. And Phil Champlin from HUD out in the valley. Have a good day. See you tomorrow at noon.
Spokane Talks Live is produced in Spokane, Washington by Spokane Talks Online, LLC, which is solely responsible for its content. To recommend a guest or topic, or to see this program again, please visit our website, SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Spokane Talks Live is brought to you by our friends at Homes for You and Breakthrough Incorporated. Join us next Wednesday, noon, for another nourishing conversation on Spokane Talks Live.